it's Jen from Kids Eat Vegetables. Hopefully this is live. Looks like a little bit of connection issues there. Anyways, hello. Welcome to this week's broadcast. Today I am going to talk about, I'm going to just bring you into the kitchen and show you what I'm making for dinner. So spaghetti is what's for dinner. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how a little veggie hack I have to add some extra veggies into the spaghetti. The kids won't notice. And then I'm going to talk to you about why my daughters are going to complain. Well, we're not allowed to complain at the dinner table, but I know in their little hearts they're going to be complaining about dinner tonight and how I'm going to overcome those objections with the way that I'm serving dinner. So that's the broadcast for today. That's the topic for today. If you have friends who you think would find this useful, please be sure to share. I tell you all the time that the journey in motherhood, the only way we can make it through is with our friends. So please be sure to share this broadcast. If you are new to me, my name is Jen Zills. I am a wife, a mom of three, a certified health coach, and the founder of Kids Eat Vegetables, where I help busy moms on their journey to raising healthy kids. And I am passionate about helping moms to get their kids to eat more vegetables. It is so important to their growing bodies, but I also know it is an absolute struggle. So the picky eaters, I don't like that term. However, that's what so many of our kids are referred to. But they're learning, and we need to be patient. So that's why we need to do little hacks like this, like kind of camouflage the veggies so we know they're getting them in their little bodies, but we're not making a big deal about it. So tonight for dinner we are having spaghetti, and I'm going to pair this spaghetti with a tossed salad and some homemade meatballs. But for today I'm just going to talk to you about the spaghetti. So I already have my spaghetti made here, and this is just a half a pound of spaghetti. I did not make the whole box because I am going to be mixing in some roasted spaghetti squash into the spaghetti noodles. If you don't know how to roast spaghetti squash, no problem. It is very, very simple, and I share the exact steps with pictures in this week's newsletter. If you go to kidseatvegetables.com/tips, again, that's kidseatvegetables.com/tips, you can sign up for our weekly newsletter. It's called Veggie Bites. It comes out every Saturday morning, and it is filled with tips, recipes, videos, jokes for the kids, coloring pages for the kids. It's very simple. It's every Saturday morning. You'll get a couple recipes for your meal plan for the coming week. You'll really enjoy it, so be sure to sign up. Again, that's kidseatvegetables.com/tips. So I'm going to go through and show you how to roast the spaghetti squash in this week's newsletter, but I'll kind of just talk through it a little bit today. These are still a little bit hot, so you're just going to take your spaghetti squash, you're going to cut it in half from stem to tip. You're just going to cut it in half, open that up, as you can see here, and you're going to scoop out the seeds in the middle. And when you go to scoop out the seeds in the middle, don't get like a little tiny spoon. Get like a really big spoon. It's really easy to get the seeds out of a squash with a really big spoon. So do that. Makes it so much easier instead of trying to scoop them out with a little tiny teaspoon or tablespoon. So use a big spoon, remove the seeds. Then I take a little bit of oil. I have avocado oil. I usually pour it into the center and then use a brush and just brush it around the sides. Sprinkle salt and pepper and put it in a nice 9x13 pan. Very simple. I don't even grease the pan. I just put a little bit of water at the bottom. So you toss that in the oven at 375 for about 35-40 minutes. You're going to have roasted spaghetti squash. So literally it takes you maybe 5 minutes to prep. Then you put it in the oven and you're hanging out. You don't have to worry about it. So it's very, very simple. So again, once your spaghetti squash is done, you can just easily use a fork. Can you see that? It's hard to see. And you're just going to kind of shred it up so it looks like little spaghetti noodles, okay? And it's the same color, as the pasta noodles. So I'm just gonna add that into the pasta. Very, very simple. And I will not do all of that right now, but you can see that, here you go. I just have that combined into the pasta. You can't even notice it, okay? No, I know you're gonna say, my kid's gonna inspect that and they're gonna see it. Maybe they will, but here's the thing. It's a very mild taste. It's not a strong taste, and once you get the sauce on, they definitely are not going to notice. So if you know your kid is going to inspect the food and like freak out over this, don't have them help you the first time. Just put it on the table the way that it is. If you have a kid who's very interested in helping in the kitchen, this is a really easy recipe, a really easy way for them to help. and make them a part of sneaking it in, right? Like, let's surprise daddy. Let's not tell daddy with what's happening here. Let's surprise him when he tastes how great it is that there's veggies snuck in here. So, right, so make them a part of sneaking it in and make it a big deal for them to sneak it in and not let daddy know, okay? So it's that simple. Boil some pasta, roast your spaghetti squash, combine the two together, and there you go. Okay, let's talk about why my daughters are going to complain. If you've watched me before, you know that my middle daughter, my 8-year-old, does not like squash, any kind of squash. She will tell you that she has a force field, meaning like she'll gag, if she eats squash. Does that mean I never make squash? Obviously not. Does that mean she doesn't eat squash? Nope, she eats the squash. But knowing that she struggles, knowing that it's not her favorite, I always try to find ways to, you know, really doctor it up and make it as appealing as possible and as delicious as possible for her. Like, I would not make her just eat the squash roasted raw, or roasted just plain, not raw, but plain. I wouldn't make her do that because I know it's not her favorite and she doesn't really enjoy it. So I would, you know, not just make her eat plain squash. Try to mix it again. Mix it with the pasta. Mix it with something to make it taste better for her. So that is her option, is to have it combined and have it tasting a little bit better. My youngest child doesn't eat tomatoes. No pasta sauce for her. She will not eat tomatoes. She will not eat pasta sauce. Okay, fine. I'll be honest. Tomatoes, not really a big deal for me. I don't necessarily force them to eat or make them eat tomatoes because it's not an essential for me. Spinach, kale, squash, those kind of things, I'm like, yes, you need to try it. But tomatoes, okay. So she will not even eat pasta sauce. I don't care if it's homemade, if it's organic, if it's filled with sugar, no matter what, no matter where she is, she will not eat pasta sauce. Okay, so how do I overcome this at the dinner table? When we can. As you know, I always tell you my motto: one family, one meal. I am not a short order chef. This is not a restaurant. I'm not running a kitchen here where they can order on demand. So dinner tonight will be presented as spaghetti with the squash in it, as well as, like I said, some meatballs and a side salad. And the pasta sauce will be on the side. So this is meal. This is what's going to be on the dinner table. One family, one meal. There's no special request. However, within this meal, I absolutely let them decide what it is they'd like to have. So my youngest, she doesn't have to have the pasta sauce. This is not an essential. It's totally fine. She'll have the side salad. So she will just eat the spaghetti with the spaghetti squash combination. She'll just have that on her plate with her salad and her meatballs. That is absolutely fine. So do I allow them to have some leeway and make their own combination within the dinner I'm serving? Absolutely, absolutely. I know it's not her favorite. I know she doesn't care for pasta sauce, so I'm not going to put this on all of it. So for my other one who doesn't like squash, she's going to have to eat the squash, but she will have maybe a little bit of extra pasta sauce on her spaghetti with squash because it's not her favorite. So to make the squash taste a little bit better and to have less taste, although it's so mild to begin with, she'll have maybe a little bit extra marinara on hers. No problem, that'll work. So her plate will look a little bit different than the others. That's fine. So one family, one meal, but when you can, let them make some decisions within that meal. Some nights that doesn't work. If we're having chili, I'm not separating the chili ingredients. You're having chili. So it doesn't work that way every night, but when it can, I let them make their own decisions. Let's talk a little bit about the pasta sauce. This is, I don't know if you can see that very well with the glare, but this is called Simply Nature from Aldi's, and it's an organic pasta sauce, and I really like it. You know, my preference is homemade. I love to make homemade pasta sauce, but it's not always an option. For quick, easy, convenient, and a good price point for organic pasta sauce, the Simply Nature from Aldi's is a great choice. Now, you're gonna go there and you're gonna read the ingredient label and you're gonna say, oh, Jen, there's sugar in here. You tell me to read the labels and not buy things with sugar added. There is 1 gram of sugar. It's like the 5th ingredient on here. There is a little bit of sugar in the pasta sauce. Not the worst thing in the world. For the price point and the convenience, I'm going with it. And I'll be honest, when I make pasta sauce at home, I include a little bit of sugar as well. Most homemade traditional pasta sauces do have a little bit of sugar. Sugar's not the enemy. If there's too much added sugar, if we're always having added sugar, then that's a problem. But for the price point, for the convenience, the little 1 gram of sugar in this pasta sauce, I'm letting it go. So that is dinner tonight. So we are going to have the pasta spaghetti squash combination. We will have the marinara sauce with our meatballs and our tossed salad. Simple meal, and again, we're letting the kids make some decisions at the table about how they would like to have their meal served. We do serve family style, so everyone can kind of take their own and make their own. And that's dinner. So if you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments. And I'm so excited that you're able to join me this week. If you're catching on the replay, you can leave a comment below. I always come back and check the comments. And be sure to sign up for our newsletter, because that's how you can find out when I'll be going live each week. Is anyone on live? If you're on live, be sure to make a comment. I'd love to chit chat for a bit. Tell me what you're making for dinner tonight. Are you roasting some squash? Because it is that time of year. Tell me what you think about roasted squash. Is that something you make often here in the fall? Have you never done it before? Again, the instructions that I have in this week's newsletter on how to roast the spaghetti squash, that applies to all the squash. So if you're making an acorn squash, any other squash you're making this season, you can absolutely use the same instructions for roasting that. And I'll be honest, I'm only probably going to use half of this in the pasta. The other half, I'm going to save for my husband and I, and we will, I'm going to saute a little bit of garlic and melt some butter, and I'll have that on the side as a separate side dish for another meal this week for us. So again, my daughter who doesn't like squash, I'm not going to make her eat it. It's too plain. It's not her favorite. So she'll stick to the spaghetti squash mixed with the pasta with the marinara sauce. But for those of us who like the spaghetti squash, we will have that again with a little bit of roasted garlic and melted butter. And it is delish. So tell me, hi Michelle, thanks for joining. I'm just getting ready to wrap up, but please go back and join the replay. I hope you're doing well. I hope your family's doing well. Tell me, do you guys eat squash in the fall? It's kind of a thing. Like some people, I'll be honest, growing up, I never remember my mom making squash. I don't even know if she really makes squash now, but whatever. But we like it. It's, you know what, this time of year, it's for the price. It's kind of an amazing price. You don't really have to worry about buying organic. You can buy conventional squash. Don't really waste the money on organic there, because it does have a outside cover. So you're just eating the fleshy inside. So don't worry about buying organic. Super simple. Again, you can use it within a dish. You can use it as a side dish. So many ways to combine it and sneak it in for some extra veggies and extra nutrients in your dinners. So you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll talk soon. Bye.